Hello Bibliophiles, and welcome back to Blatantly Bookish. Today I just wanted to chat with you about what I'm reading currently and my library haul from last night, because I put a book on hold and then I can't control myself and get way too many books from the library because that's what I always do. Yay! So here are the books. It's not that many. I've done worse, I have to say. So anyway, I finally started reading Mansfield Park this month. I am absolutely loving it so far. It is definitely a very different Jane Austen novel than I'm used to. Fanny is just a different heroine, and I'm really interested in learning more about her. I'm only on page 50 or so I've got a long ways to go. This book is a little dense, and I need a lot of mental energy to read it, but that doesn't mean I'm not loving it. I also read The Color of Magic on my phone as a spur-of-the-moment read, something light, something fun, and Terry Pratchett's Discworld is very fun. I am looking forward to reading the whole series eventually in my lifetime, not like this year. It's 41 books. That would be most of my reading, actually. But I'm really, really enjoying it. It's just so whimsical and fantastical. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Discworld series, it's a fantasy series, potentially a YA fantasy series, about a world that is not like ours, although it is a lot like ours. Terry Pratchett's humor is just absolutely phenomenal. His writing is phenomenal, and I think that's what makes the series stand out. His ideas, his writing, they're just out of this world, quite literally. There are a lot of different threads and plot lines in the Discworld series. As far as I know, I'm not an expert on it because this is only my second book reading it. I read Going Postal last year because Jen from Bookish Thoughts thought that that would be a decent place to start, and I absolutely loved it, but apparently there were all these references that I missed from not having read the other books, and so I decided to start from the beginning. Now there's two schools of thought on the Discworld. There's this school of thought that you want to start from the beginning and read in publication order, and even though you bounce around from different character to different character and from different series to different series, that's how you want to read it, and you get a little break between characters. And then there's a different school of thought that just says, stick with a series, pick a series, and just devour that series. Either stick with Rincewind, who's a wizard who has fantastical adventures, or Guards. Guards is a good place to start. It has to do with the armed guards of Ankh-Morpork Park, which is a city in the Discworld, and everyone says that's the best series. I haven't even read a book from that series yet, so no comment here on that. And then there's another series about witches, as far as I know, and another series about death and the character of death. So all of these series sound really great, and I couldn't pick, which is possibly why I just decided to start from the beginning and work my way through them. So we'll see how that goes. But I finished The Color of Magic and absolutely loved it, and people even say that that book isn't one of the good ones. So if I don't even mind the bad one, I only imagine what I'll think of the good ones. And then I also picked up The Light Fantastic from the library, and The Light Fantastic is really good so far. I'm on page 37. It's pretty pitiful, actually, but I just picked it up last night, so And this picks up where The Color of Magic left off. Color of Magic left off on a bit of a cliffhanger. You sort of didn't know what was happening, where they were, and The Light Fantastic, looks at that. But what I like most about Terry Pratchett's work is that even though it takes place on this ridiculous and fantastic land called Discworld, it actually is a social satire, and it talks a lot about things that we deal with today. Everything from government to death to the meaning of life to traveling to... it's just such a remarkable examination and satire on the way we live our lives, and I just think that that's amazing that he can write something so enjoyable and so laugh-out-loud funny, but also so serious in its own little way. So loving this series. While I was at the library, I also picked up Equal Rites, which is the next book in the Discworld series, and I think this is the introduction book to the Witches saga. I don't know what it's actually called, but the one the plot line that deals with witches. So excited about that. This one apparently has to do with feminism and witches and witchcraft, and I'm really interested in that kind of stuff, so I will probably really enjoy this one. And I'm finally done talking about Discworld, I promise. The next 2 books I picked up are just books that caught my fancy in the library. The next one is How to Breathe Underwater by Julie Orringer, and it is a collection of short stories. I don't know too much about it, besides that a lot of people I know really enjoy it and think it's a really great short story collection. And yes, so I'll read you the back because I really don't know any more than the back does. 9 brave, wise, and spellbinding stories make up this award-winning debut. In When She Is Old and I Am Famous, a young woman confronts the inscrutable power of her cousin's beauty. In Note to 6th Grade Self, a band of popular girls exert their social power over an awkward outcast. In The Isabel Fish, 14-year-old Maddie learns to scuba dive in order to mend her family after a terrible accident. Alive with the victories, humiliations, and tragedies of youth, How to Breathe Underwater illuminates this powerful territory with striking grace and intelligence. Just sounds absolutely delightful, so I'm excited for this one. And then last but not least, I was really excited to find this copy of Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. This is one that's been on my radar for a little while now, and I thought that I would want to read it at some point. I found it there. I found this lovely copy of it. It's a paperback, which is nice, and it's so floppy. It's just so floppy. I absolutely love it. And it's large print too, which for some reason I enjoy, I think. I think large print, and you can see the print is quite large, I think that it helps me feel like I'm still reading a childhood novel, and it helps me focus on the actual text I'm reading better. So yes, I was very happy to find this copy, and I hope to get to it soon, or at least before it's due. I hope to get through all of these before they're due. So those are all the books I have for you. I hope you enjoyed that little impromptu what I'm reading video, what I took out from the library video, and I'd love to know what you guys are currently reading, if you're enjoying it. Have you read any of these books that I picked up? Do you like any of these books that I picked up? Would you like to read any of these books that I picked up? Basically, just talk to me in the comments because I'd love to hear what you're thinking, and I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. Bye!